All right, we spent a lot of time talking about the incredible power of modern IP-based broadcast studios. But all of that connectivity, it comes with a really serious catch: cybersecurity. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the new threats facing every single broadcast facility and, maybe more importantly, how we can actually defend against them.
And just a quick heads up, this is part 26 of our ongoing series on modern broadcast studios. Today, we are laser-focused on the essentials of cybersecurity, all based on what's detailed in this chapter.
So, let's just start with a question that should probably keep any broadcast engineer up at night. Seriously, what if a hacker encrypted all of your media files and demanded a ransom right before the nightly news? Or, even worse, what if they started broadcasting their own content through your systems? This isn't some movie plot. This is the reality of the risks we're all facing today.
You see, that same convergence with IT that gives us so much incredible power and flexibility, well, it's also exposed our once isolated infrastructure to a whole new world of threats. Our studios aren't just production facilities anymore. They've become high-value targets on a digital battlefield.
So, you might be asking, why? Why are broadcast studios such prime targets? Well, it really just boils down to two things: visibility and impact. A successful attack on a station isn't just a technical glitch that you fix quietly. No, it's a public event. It's a headline. It's an incredibly powerful way for an attacker to cause massive disruption or, frankly, spread misinformation in an instant.
Let's get specific about the threats. We're talking about ransomware that could encrypt your media files moments before a live show goes to air. Or, think about this: content manipulation, where an attacker literally injects false information directly into your broadcast. Then you've got denial of service attacks, specifically designed to cripple your IP workflows. Attackers also love to use your own vendors as a backdoor. That's a supply chain attack. And of course, we can't forget about data breaches of sensitive, unreleased content or the huge risk of insider threats.
This quote right here just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the core challenge we're facing. On one hand, the high-profile nature of what we do makes us super attractive targets. But on the other hand, our operational constraints, the 24/7, always on, the show must go on reality of our business, it complicates everything. You can't just take a server down for patching during prime time, right? This tension is what makes broadcast security so uniquely difficult.
So how in the world do we defend against all this? Well, it's not hopeless. Not at all. It all starts with building what I like to call a digital fortress, a foundation that's designed for the unique realities of broadcast. So let's break down the core defenses. Okay, the first and honestly most powerful defensive strategy is something called network segmentation. The idea is simple. Instead of having one big, flat network where everything can talk to everything else, you use things like firewalls and VLANs to create separate, isolated zones. This is how you keep your critical production gear walled off from your business computers and, for sure, from anything that touches the public internet.
And here's the perfect way to think about it. It's like having watertight doors on a massive ship. If a phishing email compromises a computer on the business network, segmentation acts like a sealed watertight door. It prevents that attack from spreading over to your on-air production systems. A breach in one compartment gets contained, and the ship, your station, stays afloat.
And let's be clear, this isn't just some abstract concept on a diagram. It's about the physical gear sitting in your racks right now. The servers and switches that run your on-air operations, they absolutely must be on a protected network segment, both physically and digitally isolated from the regular corporate network. This is a fundamental, non-negotiable architectural decision for security.
All right, the next foundational pillar is all about controlling access, using what's called the principle of least privilege. The idea here is simple. People should only get access to the absolute minimum they need to do their jobs, and nothing more. It starts with strong authentication, stuff like MFA. It's enforced with authorization, using role-based access controls, so, for example, an editor can't mess with transmitter controls. It's all about ensuring users only have access to their specific systems, and hey, it even extends to physical security, controlling who can just walk into a server room.
Look, building the fortress is step one, but the real work, the hard work, is maintaining it. Cybersecurity isn't a project you just finish and check off a list. It is a constant, ongoing process of vigilance, patching, and monitoring.
And this right here is that core conflict we were just talking about. In a nutshell, the security ideal, what the IT folks would love, is patch immediately. But our broadcast reality is, and always will be, never, ever interrupt on-air operations. This dilemma is at the very heart of our challenge. It requires a really carefully planned patching policy that balances security with stability, and that usually means a ton of testing and very carefully scheduled off-air maintenance windows.
So, if we can't always patch immediately, we have to be absolutely exceptional at monitoring our networks. But here's the catch.
a normal broadcast network looks highly abnormal to most standard security tools. I mean, think about it. A multi-gigabit file transfer that an IT tool might flag as massive data theft, for us, that's just a producer moving a 4K file. Our security monitoring has to be smart enough to understand our very specific workflows.
It's kind of like this. Your security operations center is like a digital watchtower. But the guards in that watchtower have to know the difference between a scheduled delivery, like a massive video file, and an invading army in the form of an attack. In our world, context is absolutely everything.
Okay, so let's be real for a second. No matter how strong your defenses are, you have to work under the assumption that one day they might fail. And that's where the final, crucial layer of your strategy comes into play. Your people, your plans, and your ability to recover.
You know, at the end of the day, your staff can either be your weakest link or your absolute strongest defense, what we call the human firewall. This means training them to recognize things like phishing emails and social engineering attempts. But the training has to be tailored to our world. It's about showing a producer how protecting their login prevents their show from getting hijacked. It's about framing security not as a roadblock, but as something that protects their work and the station's entire mission.
Now let's talk about recovery, because this point is absolutely critical. Your backups are your lifeline after a ransomware attack. But guess what? The attackers know this. They will actively hunt for and try to encrypt or delete your backups before they launch their main attack. This means your backups have to be secured, ideally using immutable or completely offline copies that the attackers simply cannot touch.
And finally, you absolutely need a plan for when things go wrong. And an incident response plan can't be some dusty binder on a shelf. It has to be a living document. First, you have to define roles so everyone knows who's in charge when a crisis hits. Second, you need a clear plan to communicate with both internal and external teams. Third, you need the technical steps to contain and remediate the breach. And finally, and this might be the most important part, you have to practice it. Running drills is the only way you'll know if your plan will actually hold up under real pressure.
You know, when it all comes down to it, protecting a modern broadcast studio isn't just an IT job anymore. And it's not just a broadcast engineering job, it's a new hybrid role. It requires engineers who can blend deep security knowledge with a real hands-on understanding of the unique 24/7 constraints of broadcasting. That specific blend of expertise is the absolute key to success.
So we'll end with this thought. In this new digital battlefield, luck is not a strategy. After seeing all these threats and the defenses we can put in place, the real question you have to ask yourself is the one on your screen right now. Is your studio secure, or has it just been lucky so far? Because the question isn't if you'll be targeted, but when, and will you be ready?